The views and opinions on this show do not necessarily reflect the views of ESPN Tucson 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, or the Arizona Lotus Corporation.
Spears and Ali, weekday mornings 7 to 9 on 1490 AM, 94.9 HD4 ESPN Tucson.
Not in time. They pulled off the shot. We're going to overtime. And Mr. Backer, you're quite prophetic.
Spears and Ali overtime here on the Spears and Ali podcast platform, also streaming on YouTube. We're doing something different. We tried it out a couple weeks ago. We're going to get on YouTube. You're going to start seeing our beautiful mugs, and we're going to give our Spears and Ali listeners, all of our day ones, another platform to listen and watch us on. I'm excited to be on YouTube again, Ali.
I am too, man. I thought the first one went really great, and there's always little tweaks you can make. Teaks. I'm always messing up one word. Boo Boo Davis.
It's Bobo Davis.
Yeah, but man, I sent this out. I know we're going to post it on Facebook and X later. I think this could be a good thing for us, and who knows? Maybe we'll use it during the show every once in a while.
Yeah.
Spears and Ali, presented by Tucson Federal Credit Union, the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans.
Better than your bank. Nova Home Loans. Paul Volpe.
Luscious.
Got the most amazing man lump of all time.
And who could ever forget about the new guy on the block? Well, for Spears and Ali, they've been in Tucson for a long, long time now. They're a Tucson staple. And that is Right Way Heating and Cooling.
And plumbing, man. And you want to be friends with them because heating, cooling, and plumbing, right after your wife, make for a good life. You don't want to have your air conditioning out in the summer, and you don't want your heater out like this week in Tucson. I mean, yesterday was like, it's one of those days. It's just like, it made you tired.
Mm-hmm.
It was raining so much, right?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, should I say more about plumbing? I mean, you don't want,
especially when you're hosting Super Bowl parties coming up.
Yeah. And then this is like your toilet's full of poop. That's always a good way to stop a party.
Shitter's backed up.
Yeah. Shitter's backed up is a great way to stop a party. There's a Kmart commercial from a couple of years ago. I think there's like 5 left in the United States now, but basically it was a great advertisement. It's like they gave free shipping if you bought anything. He's like, hey, you know what? I can ship my pants. You can ship your pants? Well, maybe I'll ship my pants too. Man, I shipped in my drawers. I shipped my comforter. And it was just, I'm like, I hope this commercial wins an award. I think I'm going to ship in those pajamas. It was a great commercial. Anyway, yeah, you want.
I've seen that recently. It's still rotating.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
You want Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. You want to have them on speed dial because all of those things very important.
Yeah.
And you may not have to worry about it if you use Nova Home Loans for your loan, right? Because you're getting the best financing possible. You're getting to work with Paul Volpe. He may give you advice about, you know what, you may want to make the seller pay for a new heater, a new furnace, a new air conditioner, right? And then Tucson Federal Credit Union is like, well, listen, all that money Paul Volpe saved you, just open an account here. You get a little bit of interest on your savings account. We have great programs. We got financial literacy classes. I mean, hat trick of best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you're the athletic director of Arizona Athletics.
TBD. TBD.
Fingers crossed, buddy.
Yeah. We'll see. And I mean, fingers crossed. I mean,
he's got my vote.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence.
I figured you would be. Yeah. I figured you would be the, hey, Ali, sorry to bother you. I know you're dealing with a lot right now with everything that's going on in athletics, but man, I just bought a hot dog and it was kind of cold. But you're that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the butter in my popcorn's at the bottom of my bag.
Yeah.
Really not about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all you got is peanut M&Ms.
Heated bleachers.
Yeah. Peanut M&Ms, man.
I love peanut M&Ms.
I do too.
My favorite.
In fact, but there is a guy out there who's like, how come you don't have regular M&Ms?
Yeah.
Right. Have you never heard of peanut allergies? There are kids in the stands. All the fucking things in athletic directors you gotta deal with, man. People have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah. The head on my beer was a little tall. Not about it.
So you guys ready to answer some mailbag questions?
Sure.
All right. So this is pretty much going to be
what's the mailbag on?
Spears and Ali overtime. I just said everything that's happened over the last week. We have a mailbag, so answer or submit any questions you may have, anything. And we got a handful, obviously, mostly about the Arizona Wildcats. And I will first start off with this. This one comes in from Antonio Orquidez. I hope I'm pronouncing the last name correctly. And Antonio's question is: chaotic week at Arizona. I'll focus on one of the funnier moments, in my opinion. Can you please give a play-by-play breakdown of the Mick Cronin interview? So if you don't know, well, I'll tell you. Mick Cronin yelled at me. Mick Cronin got very, very spicy with me. And I went to his press conference. First of all, I wasn't there to cover basketball. I wasn't there to cover Arizona versus UCLA. I am the football beat reporter for the Arizona Daily Star. And as you guys know, it has been a very crazy time for the Arizona football program. And I just had a hunch. I had a feeling, mostly because Ali spoken into existence on the show. But Noah Fafita and Tetsuo McMillan, one of the greatest wide receiver quarterback tandems in college football right now. I mean, these guys are as good as it gets. And if they can come back to Arizona, that would be a home run for Brent Brennan and his staff. I mean, the Wildcats were looking like a top 15 team, potentially top 10 team at the end of the season. And people were worried that Jed Fish, now at Washington, would gut the roster and take everyone over, and that Arizona will go back to being crappy again. That's not the case. A lot of these guys, including Noah and T-Mac, are staying at Arizona. And Ali said, Noah and T-Mac, could you imagine if they walked out onto the court and announced that they're staying at Arizona? And I'm like, you know what? They're very humble. They're not very showy. But man, that would be something to really rally the troops, galvanize the community, and sell some tickets. I know for a fact people bought season tickets because of that moment at McHale Center on Saturday. So I just wanted to be there just in case it happened. And then sure enough, I go to the arena and it's like, hey, under 16 timeout. That's when it's happening. I go out onto the court, record the video, see Brent Brennan, Dwayne Aquina, the players getting all hyped up, and the McHale Center crowd chanting U of A. Like, it was a very awesome moment. And I saw that UCLA pissed away a 19-point lead. And I'm like, ooh, Mick Cronin's going to be very, very spicy after this game. And then I also saw a video posted by Ben Bolch of the LA Times. We had him on Spears and Ali last week. And he said that an Arizona fan had their phone inches away from players and coaches' faces, which I don't know how true that is.
I mean, unless you're Mr. Fantastic, they're like up on a stanchion in the stands, and the team is walking through the tunnel. So if Ben is right, congratulations, Tucson and Arizona. One of the members of the Fantastic Four are currently enrolled at the University of Arizona. Fantastic.
We'll be protected night and day.
Yeah.
And Mick Cronin was
I want the thing.
the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be a great like left tackle. Anyway, go ahead.
Great edge rusher.
Oh, man.
So Mick Cronin, I saw him yelling at people, yelling at security guards, yelling at police officers. There was this whole kerfuffle down at the players' tunnel for UCLA. And, this isn't the first incident that has involved members of the Zona Zoo and UCLA. Do you guys recall a couple years ago, Mac Etienne, who wasn't even playing, he had a season-ending knee injury and was just on the sidelines wearing street clothes. He walks back. Some people say some things to him. He doesn't like it. He's yelling at them and then spits on them and then ends up getting arrested for it and has to go to court and deal with all that. And then this incident happens, and I'm like, man, there's just something with UCLA and Arizona. I know it's the greatest rivalry in college basketball on the West Coast, but man, it seems like every time they come to McHale Center under Mick Cronin, there's always something happening. Nothing like this ever happened with Steve Alford. Like, I think the worst that Steve Alford did was call a timeout with like a minute left or 17 seconds left, whatever. Nothing like this ever happened with the previous regime, but Mick Cronin, all of a sudden, there's all sorts of issues.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
And I wanted to go ask him what happened with the fans? And he was like, no, I asked him at the post-game press conference. So what happened with the fans walking off the court? Nothing happened with the fans. Nothing. And I'd expect nothing less from you. And he pointed at me, gave me the finger, like not the finger, not the middle finger, but his how dare you ask me that question finger. And that was that. I left it at that. I had to be professional. I can't sit there and be like, well, what do you mean by that? Like, and start
Why
getting
not?
into it. With
Coach,
McCrone.
could you elaborate on why you could expect nothing less from me so that I'm clear?
I guess I could have done that.
You could have. Yeah, UCLA's soft, man. And look, the way that guy coaches his team, I mean, literally yelling at his players all the time.
Yeah.
All
There's
the
not
time.
a moment during the game where they weren't getting it an earful from him.
I never, one time, at least I didn't see it. Hey, good job, Bona.
Yeah.
Right. And then his players, every time there's any kind of mistake, they look immediately to the bench. I mean, you're playing in fear of something all the time. It's just not it's not conducive to having a really good, joyous team atmosphere.
Yeah.
And the dichotomy between Tommy Lloyd and Mick Cronin could not be further apart. Right. And, Tommy gets irritated too, but he's always coming from a place of coaching, teaching, and trying to uplift the players. Whereas Mick Cronin is like, I mean, by the way, Mick, you're like 5'2". Were you some fucking good basketball player? Like did you play for the Harlem Globetrotters? You were the successor to Curly Neal. I mean, what standards are you holding them to? Because you don't look like you could fucking do, you probably got fucking dunked on a lot of your career. You played on 8-foot hoops. I mean, that's not the same as 10-foot hoops. Great. You could dunk on an 8-foot hoop, but
still 8 feet, man.
the style and manner which he coaches, it just does not resonate with me. I don't like it. And it's weird. No, when you put out that kind of energy, Justin, it makes perfect sense why it's only happened with Mick Cronin. Yeah. And you know what? You want to be such a tough guy and so aggressive, right? But you're so thin-skinned. Mm-hmm. He honestly is. And so, you know what? When you go through a tunnel in a heated rivalry and you lost the game or you win the game, some clown student may say something stupid. You know what you do? You keep walking.
Yeah.
You don't start getting an altercation. Him and his assistant coach getting in a yelling match and calling the cops. Why aren't you doing more? Doing what do you want us to do, man?
Yeah.
They said something.
Yeah.
You're the same guy that's complaining about what a student said that told a ref, go fuck yourself, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
After you got the technical. After. And you stayed in the game.
Yeah.
So, do as I say, not as I do. That's Mick Cronin.
I do appreciate, though, that Justin is a bona fide little brother, though, because you were like, oh, he's mad.
Yeah.
I want to follow him into his room.
Well, and then later on in that press conference, I asked him, what is it like coaching at McHale Center? Talk to me about the McHale Center experience. And he said, you're going to have to ask Tommy about that. He coaches here all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, how about you provide a visitor's perspective? Can you do that for me?
Yeah.
No, can't do it. Venue, fans, it doesn't matter to me, which I'm like, I mean, obviously it does matter to you because you're getting into a screaming match with them. Yeah. You're getting a screaming match with police officers because of fans. And then he says, venue, fans, none of it matters to me. That's why my teams have always been so good on the road. I'm like, earlier this month, you lost by 46 in Salt Lake City to Utah.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys aren't that good on the road. You just pissed away a 19-point lead on the road. Obviously, your teams ain't that good on the road.
Yeah.
And McHale Center
to beat Arizona on the road, right?
No, he has not beaten McHale. He has not beaten Arizona at McHale Center. Mm-hmm. He's had a couple wins against Tommy.
But they're in Poly.
But yeah, Poly. Yeah, all of them are at Poly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
2 losses in Vegas.
Tommy Lloyd undefeated in Las Vegas and in Tucson against Mick Cronin. But like, I'm coming from. It's the last time you're playing at McHale Center. We don't know when UCLA will ever come to McHale Center again. So can you just tell us like what the experience is like coaching at McHale Center? You couldn't even do that for me. And for him to sit there and be like, I'd expect nothing less from you. Like, who the hell are you? Like, I've never even met you. I've never had a personal conversation with you. I've never tweeted anything bad about Mick Cronin. I've never publicly said anything about Mick Cronin.
He recognized the propeller hat.
And all of a sudden, he's coming at me for what? Like, I don't understand, man. Maybe he thought I was somebody else.
That's the question.
Maybe
Who did Mick Cronin think Justin was? That's the question we're not
He
asking.
thought you were Jason Shear.
Maybe he thought I was Jason Shear. Maybe he thought I was Jason Shear. But like, you obviously have to put a face to the name. And it wasn't like my badge was showing my name. Like, it was very small print. Like, you couldn't really see my credentials. So you don't know
You don't start it with
name.
like Justin Spears from the Arizona Daily Star, coach, and then ask the question.
But see, he's probably gonna hear that name and be like, Justin Spears, Jason Shear.
Did you do
Like,
that though? Is what
no,
I'm
I
asking.
didn't.
So does he think he was Bruce Pascoe? I mean, you can't think he was Pascoe, right?
I don't know. Has he met Pasco?
I'm sure he has.
Yeah,
Yeah,
assuming he
Pac-12
has.
Media Day,
Yeah.
and Pac-12 tournament, stuff like that. Like, absolutely.
You know what? To
So-
answer your question, Justin, as we move on to the next question, is Mick Cronin doesn't have the grace or the humility to say, you know what, this is a great rivalry. McHale's center is absolutely wonderful environment, and it's good for college basketball. And in a weird way, we always enjoy coming here because this UCLA, Arizona with this kind of crowd really epitomizes the best of what college basketball can be. He doesn't have the grace or humility to say that.
Or you can go full scorched earth. You don't know when's the next time you're going to be coaching at McHale Center. So you know what? Now's the time. Get it off your chest.
Yeah.
You don't have to come back here anymore. Tell me how shitty McHale Center is. Tell me how classless the fans are. Give me something, man. Be honest. You want to be honest with me. I expect nothing less from you. But when I ask you, hey, talk about the fans, talk about Arizona people, you don't want to do it.
It's not like we're pulling a Buffalo Bills. I mean, after the Buffalo Kansas City game, I guess all the heat in the showers, like somebody turned it off, so all they had was cold showers. I mean, it's not like McHale Center we're doing that to anybody. It's like, how bad could I mean? Somebody said, you know what? You guys are mean to me, and I don't like this place. It's just I walk out and somebody says mean things. I don't like when people say mean things to me. Hey, go fuck yourself, motherfucker. But they're mean to me. He's a clown, man. And he's actually, I don't think he's good for college sports generally. I know that other coaches like him, or some people like him, but I don't like him. I don't like the way he coaches. And can I say one more thing about that day?
Sure.
There was, as you noted, there's pure magic that happened in McHale on Saturday. And the people buying season tickets and people feeling really good. And I got a text from one of my friends, a local purveyor, food purveyor. He owns some restaurants here in town. Shout out to the Union Reforma and the Maverick. And is like, hey, I'm worried that we were losing some of that momentum with, Dave Hickey being his employment being terminated, with some of the things going on with the U of A. I'm afraid we're going to lose that magic. And my answer to that, and if you're watching, like, listen, read my lips, like George Bush used to say, we're not going to let that fucking happen. So our football program's in a great place. Our basketball programs are in a great place. Our athletic department's in a great place.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I had a burp. We're solid with the men's and women's golf team. We got Clancy Shields, Pac-12 Coach of the Year in men's tennis. I think baseball and softball, you're going to see a resurgence. Like, we're doing good, man. So no, we're not going to let the magic is here, and all the ancillary stuff is the ancillary stuff there. And soapbox down.
All right, let's move on to some other mailbag questions. This one comes in from Brad Malone.
Who's that?
Bear Down Bias podcast,
Yeah.
very own Brad Malone.
Got him.
Brad asks,
Got him.
was there any clarification on what happened after the UCLA game with the Zona Zoo and UCLA players? I know Mick was asked about it, but he was seemed a little flustered by a kind reporter. I appreciate that. The kind
You
words.
do that just
Brad
to double
Malone.
down on yourself, right
I
there.
did. What the hell, Mick Cronin? What did I do to you? What did I do to you? You tell me. Like, I'm a nice
Get out
guy.
of the way, school bus on Silver Bell.
Yeah.
Now, don't fuck with me while I'm driving. Okay?
Yeah.
That's my only like bugaboo. Is like I'm the nicest guy in the world, but holy shit, if you don't know how to drive, if you don't know the speed limit, if you are just completely unaware of everyone around you, then what are you doing on the road, man? And especially driving here early in the morning, it's still dark outside. It seems like people, their brains are like just turning on. I'm like, guys, turn on your brains before you get in your car. And then when, I don't know, you're on the road, don't stop in the middle of the road. And I was behind a school bus who stopped in the middle of the road, opened up the doors, stop sign and all. I'm like, okay, there's going to be like some kids running in. They're picking up kids. They were there for 5 minutes in the middle of a busy road. No kids got on, no kids got off. They close the door, stop sign folds in, and they keep driving. I'm like, you just wasted 5 minutes of my time. Those are 5 minutes I will never get back. I can deal with the train, okay?
Mhm.
But this, it pisses me off the way people drive in Tucson sometimes. It's like pick your poison. Drive in Los Angeles, you deal with the traffic, but people drive with a purpose. Or drive in Tucson where there's hardly any traffic and people drive like they have nowhere else to go. And people take forever to turn right. Don't even get me started, man. If everyone in the world drove like me, there'd be no accidents.
Don't get you started. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
What if we gave Justin, like, you have to have a steering wheel in your hand while you're doing your job? We're going to get a different guy asking questions. It's like, I expect nothing less from you. You know what, Mick? You motherfucker. I'm just trying to do my job here. And you're just being an asshole. Okay. Just trying to do my job. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? You expect nothing less from me? You don't even know me. I mean, oh man, that would have been great.
Nice blinker, Mick.
Yeah. God, can you imagine if it was Mick Cronin in the car that had him stops in the middle of the road? Or the school bus driver?
Yeah.
F you and F your kids.
All right, our next mailbag question.
All right.
Can you describe the Mick Cronin?
I need to get him pointing at me. I need to get it on a t-shirt.
You do.
Yeah. We want
with
you
the caption,
for Arizona basketball.
Expect nothing less
I'd
from
expect
you.
nothing less from you. Put on a t-shirt. Maybe we can start selling some Spears and Ali merchandise. Okay.
Great idea.
Moving on. This one comes in from Casey Kennedy. Casey asks, if KJ Lewis continues to develop his shot, will he be the leader of this Arizona squad in upcoming years? His development this year has been something extremely fun to follow. Great question, Casey. And absolutely. And honestly, next season, Arizona, they're bringing in some very talented freshmen. Carter Bryant, who's a McDonald's All-American. Jamari Phillips, who's a 5-star shooting guard, unbelievable talent. Emmanuel Stevens, who's pretty much going to be like the next Christian Coloco, rim protector, very athletic. He's perfect for Tommy Lloyd. But as far as KJ Lewis goes, I think next year he's going to insert himself into the starting lineup because, Caleb Love's going to be gone after this year. He's only playing 1 year. Maybe Jaden Bradley gets into the starting lineup. I don't know what his situation is, how many years he's got left, but
he's got 3.
He's got more time after this year.
Yeah.
So maybe he gets in the starting lineup. But I think KJ Lewis at this point, the way that he's developing, it would surprise me if he's not in the starting lineup. And not only is he a great scorer and can score at multiple levels, and his shot is developing, but his ability to defend, that's what got him on the court this season. And Ali, you've been watching him ever since they went over to the Middle East. This KJ Lewis guy, he's the real deal. I mean, people were comparing him to Marcus Smart going into the year. I mean, he compared his skill set to Marcus Smart. Now I can see it.
I actually think he's a little better. And, he hit a big 3 that got us kind of going on our run against UCLA on Saturday. But, the question is not, can KJ Lewis be a leader and, inserted in the starting lineup next year? That's easy. The question is, will he be here next year? Because he has the kind of talent and personality that reminds me a lot of Dalen Terry in some ways, that he may, some people are going to be saying KJ Lewis was going to enter the NBA draft. And I think there was one projection where he may go in the first round.
Listen, I thought Dalen going the year that he went, I thought I was like, no, that's far-fetched.
Yeah.
And he became a first-round pick. So
he's number 13 overall. Another guy I told you was going to go higher than people predicted. But if he continues to mature and evolve as a player on and off the court, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that KJ Lewis puts his name in for the NBA draft. He might even just test the waters, and with the opportunity to take his name out. But he has been the guy brings a certain energy and toughness to this Arizona basketball team. That's hard. That's something you can't coach.
Yeah.
And then the coaching part, refining his game. He's gotten better and better as the season's gone along. I've been very impressed from him from the get-go.
And if he does put his name in for the draft, you can be like, he used to dunk on him.
I used to dunk on a guy who got drafted by an NBA team.
Yeah. Granted, when he was like 7, but
right.
Yeah,
and it was a Nerf hoop.
It was an 8-foot hoop.
Yeah.
It was that Mick Cronin plays
hanging on the back of the.
You could dunk on an 8-foot hoop?
Yeah.
Really?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Was there a trampoline involved or?
No.
A boost?
A trampoline and $10,000.
Yeah.
Maybe it was on a driveway. It was a little slanted, so I got a little bit of a boost. But yeah, I used to dunk on him.
You guys used to play like Nerf hoop with your friends, like in the room, just keep like one-on-one.
Yeah.
Do kids do that anymore? Because
I think so.
There was, some very serious one-on-one Nerf basketball games in my house.
I don't have any kids, so I don't know.
Yeah. I guess I'm asking the wrong guys, huh? And you're probably not hanging out with kids.
No.
Which is probably good.
Yeah.
My brother and I, we play on the Nerf hoop a lot.
Yeah.
We also, in college, we had a hoop set up in our living room. And
really?
at all hours of the day, people were like getting shots up.
Wow, that's
we
awesome.
We were just, I would be like waking up, it'd be like 7:30 in the morning, and I would just hear like thump, thump, like of the ball hitting the wall. So
and your parents were okay with that?
We were ballers. No, I mean, this is my apartment.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was envisioning a much different time.
Me too. Yeah. Me too.
No, I was a grown ass man.
It's like, it was weird how our parents would let us do that and keep making that thump sound in the wall.
Yeah.
And it was always like it echoed. It was like thump, 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 thump. I don't know. It may have been the acoustics in the house. And then you get older, you're like, oh, that's what my parents were doing.
That's what the code word back rub means.
I
wonder why
They've been folding laundry for a hell of a long time.
Can you come, honey? Can you come help me with something in the bedroom real quick?
Yeah.
Thump, thump. Kids, we want you to play basketball in the house.
Yeah.
Okay, mom and dad, we're in.
Make as much noise as physically possible.
Right.
Turn the TV up and play basketball in the house.
Moving on to our next mailbag question. This one comes in from Marcello Martinez. It looks like conference teams are getting used to our offense. Should Tommy add new plays or change up the offensive style?
That was amazing.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good question, but I think that one thing you need to understand with Tommy's offense is it's pretty free flowing, and there's a lot of
cutting
and alternatives based on how the defense is playing. So it's really never the same offense twice. And then there's an offense for when they're playing man to man, and then there's an offense for when they're playing zone. And I don't think they're getting used to our offense because, like I said, it's changeable. It always is adjustable. Players are taught to how to adjust it as they go along. And so I don't think it's that. I think I think the issue with Arizona of recently has been, the shots are just not going in. And sometimes it's just really the simple answer.
Yeah.
And, like golfers, they're like
the yips,
just getting the yips, or, we just got right now, the shots are not going in. And what I'm hoping is from the 15-minute mark in the second half on, when Arizona made that awesome run to beat UCLA. Was that what we needed to get over that adversity? And every team's going to face it and, get on a run. I mean, we've seen Arizona shoot the lights out.
Yeah.
But at halftime when we were down, what was it, 9 points? I mean, Arizona was shooting 31%.
Yeah.
UCLA was shooting like 56%. And I told the guy sitting next to me, I'm like, if we can get that to 43%, get UCLA down to 43, 45%, we're going to win this game. It's going to be okay. I didn't feel really good when we got down 19 then, 5 minutes into the second half. But look at what the percentages were. Arizona shot like 43, 42%. UCLA went down.
Yeah.
I mean, UCLA shot better than they shot all year long.
Especially from beyond the arc. And you could see from a defensive standpoint, because Bona's so good. Mm-hmm.
And we're going to face another good center in Dante at Oregon on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see what Arizona does. But Arizona's defensive strategy in that game was the guards doubling down on Bona every time he got it down low. And then kick it out. When he kicks it out to a guard, rotate and, get a hand in the face. UCLA was making those shots.
Yeah.
And so Arizona adjusted. And then, the Umar Ballo, everybody's talking about his 7 for 8 free throws, which was awesome. And we needed every one. But what they're not talking about is what a great job Umar did defensively one-on-one with Bona for a majority of that second half. Because that was the game, man. And getting him in foul trouble.
Yep. Did he foul out?
He did.
He did foul out.
Yeah. They had a couple guys foul out.
Arizona's just got to play better on the road, too.
Yeah, but
they're 2-2
Yeah.
in a true road games this season. They're also 2-2 on neutral site. But home, haven't lost. 10-0.
They just got to find a way to light their own fires when they're on the road.
Get your own spark, man.
Well, yeah, it's that. And, maybe whatever we're doing as far as the routine on the road, you maybe change things up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been on.
Don't fly into Pullman.
Don't fly into Pullman. I mean, I went on the road with them. I mean, it's not like they're like staying up all night or, going out or doing anything like that. It's just, they shot really poorly against Washington State. And then against Stanford, we shot poorly and Stanford made 16 3-pointers.
Yeah.
So, the other team, I think the thing is when we go on the road, I know we understand this, but we have to, I don't know, maybe it just needs to be more ingrained. That is the biggest game of the year at that stadium.
Yeah.
All right. Stanford's not going to the NCAA tournament. Washington State's not going to the NCAA tournament. So that's their Super Bowl. I mean, you should have seen Washington State, the way they celebrated after the game. It was like they won a championship.
Mm-hmm.
So Oregon State's going to be like that on Thursday. It's always weird playing in Corvallis. And that Oregon game on Saturday is going to be for who's going to be leading the Pac-12.
Man, exciting times to be an Arizona basketball fan, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
All right. That will do it for the mailbag and Spears and Ali overtime. We're going to make it a quick one today or this week, but we will be back next week.
Not taking our time with this one.
Not doing it right.
No. Getting into a rhythm. It's just a quickie, huh?
Sometimes you need a quickie, man.
Yeah.
Keeps things, got to mix things up.
Well,
variety is the spice of life.
There's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
I understand that. But when we do something like this quick,
Mm-hmm.
is there
you worry about quality.
Quality, right?
Quality versus quantity.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure that everybody involved, including the ones watching and listening, are, coming to a very celebratory conclusion.
Yeah.
Right. Because
sometimes
quickies don't allow for that.
Yeah.
Not for both parties.
And you got to make sure that even when it is a quickie that, we have to be able to do a full overtime, keep that endurance and everything and not get used to the quickies.
Right.
Because then, things just get kind of sour everywhere. If you only do the quickies, that's
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Are we talking about the podcast?
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. If we keep doing it short and quick, you're going to maybe have an issue with constant premature, ending of shows.
Yeah. Which you don't want.
Because, you
Bad
want
for the sponsors.
We want
for the
everybody.
listeners.
We want everybody to, have fireworks at the end when we're done, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just us doing the quickie.
Yeah.
Here's the fireworks. Spears and Ali, presented by Tucson Federal Credit Union, the Volpe team, Adnova Home Loans, and Right Way Heating and Cooling and Plumbing.
Yeah.
Fireworks.
Fireworks.
Yep.
Boom. Yeah. No Luther Vandross today, but no, just like
That's it.
welcome to the jungle.
Yeah.
In and out.
Yep. Grab the tissues.